It almost feels unfair. You start cutting calories, your cheeks look sharper, your arms begin to lean out. Yet that stubborn belly fat sits there like it owns the place, refusing to budge. Why does it cling so tightly? The truth is, abdominal fat isn't just stored energy. It behaves more like an organ, deeply wired to hormones such as cortisol and insulin. Evolution designed it as a protective shield around your vital organs, a survival vault your body hesitates to open. Scientists explain that belly fat is metabolically quieter than other types of fat. In simple terms, it burns slower, responds slower, and is the last to go. Your body treats it as an emergency reserve. So before your abs have even a chance to appear, your system wants reassurance that you're not starving. This built-in survival program is why belly fat demands patience and strategy, and also why most people quit right at the moment their body is about to flip into true fat-burning mode. And before we go deeper into that switch, make sure you subscribe, because the next stages of this process will surprise you. When you start dieting, your body does not immediately say, "Great, time to burn fat." It actually reacts with mild panic. It's been relying on a predictable flow of calories from your usual meals. Suddenly reducing that intake is like cutting the power without warning. In the early days, your brain senses an energy shortage and orders your liver to release glycogen, stored glucose, to keep your muscles and brain functioning. You might feel slightly lighter or even energized, but this isn't fat loss. This phase is your metabolism trying to figure out whether the shortage is temporary or something more serious. Only after several consistent days of reduced calories does your body begin preparing for a deeper metabolic shift. So if you've ever started a diet and felt like nothing was happening, you weren't imagining it. Something was happening. It was just the warm-up. Think of glycogen as a built-in backup battery, a sugar reserve your body uses when food stops coming in. During the first few days, your body taps heavily into this reserve. Here's the twist. For every gram of glycogen, your body stores nearly 3 grams of water. So when glycogen drops, water weight drops with it. That's why the scale plunges quickly at first. But again, it's not fat yet. When glycogen finally runs low, insulin levels start falling, and that is the signal your body has been waiting for, the permission to reach into stored fat. But this transition doesn't happen instantly. It often requires 3 to 5 days of consistent calorie deficit. So yes, those early pounds are mostly water, but they're the sign that your body is just about to enter real fat-burning mode. That first week often feels almost magical. The scale drops quickly, your face looks slimmer, your clothes start fitting differently, and for a moment, it feels like you've cracked the code to effortless dieting. But if you believe that early weight loss equals fat loss, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. As glycogen drains and water releases from your tissues, the number on the scale may fall by 2 to 4 kilograms. Yet almost all of that is water paired with reduced carb intake. It's temporary, just your body adjusting to the new routine. This is where most people hit a psychological wall. After a week or two, the rapid drop slows down, the scale stops moving, and instantly they assume their diet has stopped working. But in reality, this plateau is the doorway to actual fat loss. Your internal systems are stabilizing, recalibrating, and preparing for a deeper metabolic shift. So that early drop isn't the victory, it's the invitation, a signal to keep pushing because the real transformation is just beginning. By the second week, your body starts to recognize a consistent pattern. Energy intake has dropped again and again, and this activates a natural defense mechanism known as metabolic adaptation. Your metabolism becomes slightly more efficient, your hunger hormones grow louder, and your body tries to conserve energy wherever possible. This is evolution at work, a survival response passed down from ancestors who endured famine, not meal plans. Here's the twist. While metabolic adaptation sounds discouraging, it's actually proof that your system is adjusting to a new rhythm. You're inching closer to the moment when stored fat becomes your primary fuel. The key isn't to battle your metabolism. It's to understand it and work with its timing. And in the next phase, your hormones begin rewriting the rules of fat loss entirely. Before moving forward, I want to hear from you. During which week of dieting does your body fight back the hardest? Share it in the comments. Your experience might help someone else push through that mentally brutal stretch. Hormones are the silent conductors of your metabolic orchestra. When you diet, their balance determines whether you burn fat smoothly or hit constant frustration. Take insulin, for example. It's the hormone responsible for storing nutrients. And when it stays elevated due to constant snacking or sugar-heavy meals, your body locks away its fat stores. It's like guarding a vault, but losing the key. As you maintain a calorie deficit, insulin begins dropping. Only then does your body allow stored fat to be released and used for energy. But this permission doesn't begin immediately. Your system first needs to trust that the calorie reduction is stable and safe. Then comes cortisol, the stress hormone. Long workdays, poor sleep, emotional strain, intense workouts, and even anxiety about dieting can elevate cortisol levels. High cortisol encourages your body to hold on to fat, especially around your abdomen, and it can trigger cravings for sugar and comfort foods. It's a biological trap. Stress makes you crave the very foods that stop fat loss. This is why your emotional state can sabotage progress just as effectively as overeating. For fat burning to truly start, your major hormones need to align. Insulin lowered enough to release fat, cortisol controlled enough to avoid storage, and leptin balanced enough to prevent overeating. It's a biochemical choreography. Only when the dancers move in harmony does fat loss unfold the way it's meant to. So if you've ever wondered why someone else's diet seems effortless while yours feels like a constant battle, remember, it's not just about the calories. It's about the chemistry running the show behind the scenes. After roughly 1 to 2 weeks of consistent calorie reduction, your body hits a decisive turning point. Glycogen stores are nearly spent, insulin levels remain lower, and your metabolism begins shifting toward fat as its main fuel source. This is the moment the real transformation begins. Your body enters a state known as metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch between burning glucose and burning fat seamlessly. You won't feel a dramatic flip. Instead, subtle changes appear: more stable energy, fewer cravings, sharper focus. Your liver begins converting stored fat into ketones, a clean and efficient energy supply for both your brain and muscles. For many people, this is the first time in years their metabolism works the way it was originally designed to. What's fascinating is how personalized this shift is. Some enter fat-burning mode in 4 days. Others may need nearly 2 weeks, shaped by genetics, exercise habits, and diet history. But one truth never changes. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Your body rewards steady persistence, not frantic attempts. If you've reached this stage in your diet, congratulate yourself. You're no longer pretending to burn fat. Your body has finally begun doing it for real. But here's where things get interesting. Not all fat behaves the same way, and understanding the difference between the two major types, visceral fat and subcutaneous fat, reshapes everything about how and where fat disappears. Subcutaneous fat is the soft layer you can pinch right under your skin. It's mostly harmless and typically the easier type to lose. Visceral fat, however, is an entirely different creature. It wraps itself around your organs, your liver, your intestines, your pancreas. It's metabolically active, hormonally stubborn, and strongly linked to insulin resistance, cardiovascular strain, and inflammation. Here's the surprising twist. Visceral fat actually burns faster than subcutaneous fat. Because it's more metabolically active, your body often targets it first when your energy intake drops. That's why some people notice health improvements: better blood sugar, reduced cholesterol, lower inflammation, long before they notice any visible changes in the mirror. But the subcutaneous layer, especially around the lower belly, is usually the last to go. This is the fat that frustrates people the most. What you see on the outside is mostly the stubborn, less active fat sitting on top of the deeper visceral layer. Your body burns through the dangerous internal fat first. Only once that reserve starts thinning does it begin touching the softer, visible fat. It feels maddeningly slow, but biologically, it's perfect strategy. Your body prioritizes survival before aesthetics. So the next time impatience creeps in, remember this truth: your body is protecting you first, sculpting you later. Now let's talk about exercise. A piece of the fat loss puzzle that most people misunderstand. Many think of workouts solely as a way to burn calories, but that's only a fraction of their true impact. Strength training builds muscle, and muscle requires more energy even when you're resting. That means your resting metabolic rate increases, so you burn more calories doing absolutely nothing, even sleeping. HIEE. Training adds another layer, triggering a physiological effect called EPOC, often known as the afterburn. Your body continues consuming oxygen and burning fat hours after the workout ends. But even low-intensity movement, walking, yoga, cycling, matters deeply. These activities reduce stress and help regulate cortisol, preventing the hormonal chaos that leads to belly fat accumulation. The real secret is creating a blend of strength, cardio, and recovery. A routine that keeps your metabolism responsive and adaptable. But here's a warning. Relying on exercise alone while ignoring nutrition is like trying to drain a bathtub while the faucet is still running. Food determines whether you're in a deficit. Exercise decides how efficiently your body uses that deficit. Together, they create synergy. But only if you treat movement as fuel, not punishment. The goal isn't exhaustion, it's adaptation. You're not trying to do more. You're trying to make your body better at using what it already has. You could follow the perfect meal plan, master your workouts, and stick to your routine with total discipline. But if you're sleeping poorly and living under constant stress, belly fat will cling to you like armor. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, repairs tissue, and balances leptin and ghrelin, the hormones that regulate hunger and fullness. When sleep falls apart, those hormones become chaotic, leading to sugar cravings, fatigue, and more stored fat. Chronic stress only makes things worse. High cortisol locks fat around your abdomen like a protective shield. Your body doesn't understand modern stress. Work deadlines, overthinking, emotional pressure. It reacts as if danger is nearby. Add caffeine overload, late-night screen time, or overtraining, and you get a metabolic storm. The fix isn't complicated, but it does require commitment. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of consistent sleep. Unwind with light stretching or mindfulness. Stop treating burnout as a badge of honor. Because the truth is this, the hardest fat to lose isn't on your body, it's in your habits. You've cleaned up your diet, you've trained consistently, you sleep better, manage stress better, and still your belly stubbornly remains. This isn't your imagination, this is biology. The abdominal region has fewer blood vessels and fewer beta-adrenergic receptors, the receptors responsible for releasing fat into the bloodstream. Simply put, belly fat is harder for your body to reach. Add years of hormonal fluctuations, stress, poor sleep, and elevated insulin, and the belly becomes a storage zone for metabolic resistance. It's where your body stores energy for true worst-case scenarios, the biological emergency vault. But here's the twist most people never hear. Once your hormones begin settling, insulin lowers in a steady rhythm, cortisol becomes manageable, and your muscle mass starts climbing, your body finally turns toward the midsection for fuel. The change feels painfully slow at first, almost invisible. But when this shift begins, the visual transformation often happens faster than expected. This is why staying consistent during plateaus is critical, because right on the other side of that frustration lies the moment everything clicks. Your body isn't sabotaging you. It's protecting you. Fat loss is permission-based, not punishment-based. Your biology needs reassurance before it lets go. The old slogan, eat less, move more, sounds smart. But real metabolism doesn't obey catchy phrases. A moderate calorie deficit, around 15 to 20% below maintenance, steadily burns fat while safeguarding your metabolism and muscle mass. Dip too low, and your body interprets it as a survival threat. Thyroid function declines, leptin drops, cortisol rises, creating the perfect storm for stubborn belly fat to dig in deeper. But a smart deficit sends the opposite message. It teaches the body that food is still arriving, just in smaller waves. This allows it to release stored fat without triggering panic mode. Pair that with high-protein meals and consistent resistance training, and you protect every ounce of lean mass while accelerating fat metabolism. Extreme diets, however, work like traps. They cause rapid early weight loss, followed by brutal rebounds. Once normal eating resumes, the body overcorrects, storing fat at high speed. This phenomenon, called fat overshooting, isn't failure. It's evolutionary instinct. So the goal wasn't ever to starve your body, it was to educate it. Long-term fat loss is a negotiation, not a war. Now for the million-dollar question, when does belly fat actually start burning? The answer isn't glamorous, but it's deeply human. For someone following a controlled calorie deficit, balanced macros, and regular movement, noticeable belly fat breakdown usually begins between week 3 and week 6. This is when glycogen stays consistently low, hormones stabilize, and metabolic adaptation settles into a new normal. For others, especially those with insulin resistance, hormonal issues, or chronic stress, the shift may take 8 to 12 weeks. But once the body finally turns to the abdomen, progress accelerates quickly. Your metabolism becomes more efficient, more flexible, and more confident in using fat as its main fuel source. Science shows it's not about how fast you enter fat-burning mode. It's about how long you can remain in that state. The first weeks test your discipline. The following months test your identity. So the real question isn't when does fat burning start? It's will you still be there when it does? How do you know you've entered fat-burning mode? It has nothing to do with the scale. It's about sensations, subtle internal cues. Your energy becomes steady instead of chaotic. Sugar cravings drop sharply. Hunger becomes predictable, not desperate. During activity, your body feels slightly warmer, a sign of thermogenesis increasing. You'll see smaller, more consistent changes in body shape. Your waist tightens even if the number on the scale barely moves. Clothes fit differently. Blood sugar becomes more stable. Mood improves. Sleep deepens. These are the whispers of a body running on fat fuel. But the most reliable sign is endurance. You can go longer between meals without crashing. That's metabolic flexibility. The ability to switch between fuel sources without panic. Your body is no longer begging for quick energy. It's calmly burning what you've stored for years. If you've reached that stage, you've earned it. What once felt impossible is now happening automatically. And if you want to go deeper, to understand how your body uses fat long before it ever touches muscle, there's another layer to uncover. And how long could you fast before losing muscle? This breakdown reveals exactly how your body shields lean tissue while using fat as its dominant fuel. Reaching fat-burning mode is impressive, but staying there is mastery. The secret lies in transforming short-term effort into long-term rhythm. Consistent sleep, balanced meals, manageable stress, regular strength training. These aren't chores. They're the pillars that hold your metabolism in place. You can also use strategic refeed days, brief increases in carbs to reset leptin, and reassure your body that food is still plentiful. Done correctly, refeed days prevent metabolic slowdown and keep fat loss steady. Think of it as teaching your metabolism to be adaptable, not rigid. The biggest mistake people make after losing fat is abandoning the habits that got them there. But maintaining just 80% consistency helps your body maintain 100% of your results. Fat loss isn't an event, it's an environment you create. A version of life that supports the body you want to live in. So as this journey comes to a close, remember, your belly fat wasn't built overnight. It won't vanish overnight, but with patience, science, and genuine self-respect, it will disappear. And when it does, it won't just change your body, guys, it will change your entire story. If this video helped you understand what's really happening inside your body, smash the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Your story might be the spark someone else needs to finally stay consistent.